My name's Jack Wheeler, and I'm 45 years old. I live in a little brick house in Ohio with my wife, Sarah, who's 43, and our son, Ethan, who just turned 20 and started trade school last fall. We've been married 16 years, and I always figured we were solid, not some fairy tale romance, but a decent life, you know? I work as a mechanic, pulling 50 or 60-hour weeks at the shop, coming home greasy and beat, but still trying to keep the family going. Sarah's a part-time cashier at the grocery store, and Ethan's always been my little buddy, even if he's grown into this quiet, lanky kid who barely looks up from his phone these days. I thought we were okay. Turns out, I was dead wrong. It all went down last Wednesday. I've been nagging Sarah for weeks to tighten up the wobbly handrail on our back porch steps. It's been loose forever, and I kept tripping over it coming in from the garage. I even bought a new bracket to fix it myself, but she said she'd handle it, wanted to prove she could do something handy for once. Looking back, that should have tipped me off. Why'd she care so much about a stupid handrail? But I didn't think twice. I trusted her. So Wednesday morning, I'm stumbling out to my truck, coffee mug in one hand, still half asleep. The sun's barely up, and I'm in my work boots, ready for another long day. I step onto the porch, and that damn handrail gives way, completely collapses. My foot slips off the edge, and I go down fast. My knee slams into the wood, and I hear this ugly pop as my leg twists. My coffee flies everywhere, and I hit the ground hard, sprawled out in the dirt next to the steps. Pain shoots through me like a lightning bolt, and I'm lying there, gasping, trying not to black out. I hear the screen door creak open, and Sarah's voice calls out, "Jack?" "Oh Lord, Jack." She hustles down the steps, kneels next to me, and presses her fingers to my neck like she's checking if I'm alive. I try to say something, but my words come out all garbled, nothing but a groan. My vision's fuzzy, but I see her face, and something's off. She's not freaking out like you'd expect. She's just watching me. Then Ethan's there, standing at the top of the steps, hands in his pockets. "What happened?" he asks, voice flat, like he's asking about the weather. "He fell," Sarah says, real calm. "Looks like he's out cold." "Out cold?" I'm hurting like hell, but I'm awake, dazed, sure, but I can't hear them clear as day. And that's when it gets weird. Sarah leans in closer, her voice dropping to this hushed tone I've never heard before. "This could be it, Ethan. He's a mess now, can't even walk. We could say he's been popping pills, losing it. Might make things easier." My brain's spinning, trying to catch up. Pills? Easier for what? Then Ethan steps down, crouches beside me, and says, "Yeah, we'd be done with him. No more dragging us down." Dragging them down? Me, the guy who's been busting my hump to pay the mortgage, put gas in their cars, keep Ethan in school? I clamp my jaw shut so hard my teeth ache, fighting the urge to sit up and yell. Something tells me to stay still, play dead, let them keep talking. "How long do you think it'd take to wrap it up?" Ethan asks. "Couple months, maybe," Sarah whispers back. "Depends if he pushes back. But if we play it right, make him look unhinged, it's a done deal." "Did you shift the cash yet?" Ethan says. "Most of it," Sarah replies. "Left a little in the checking account so he doesn't notice. I'll finish it soon." "Cash? My cash?" I'm lying there, knee throbbing, heart pounding, listening to my wife and son plot to rob me blind and ditch me like yesterday's trash. "They keep going," Sarah says. "We should call 911 soon, but let's make it look good. Grab that bottle of Jack Daniels from the kitchen, splash some on him." Ethan nods, runs inside, and comes back with the whiskey. I feel the cold liquid hit my shirt, soaking through, the sharp smell burning my nose. They're setting me up to look like some strung-out drunk. When the ambulance shows up, they switch gears fast. Sarah's sobbing to the paramedics. "He's been so stressed lately, taking stuff he shouldn't. I didn't know how bad it got." Ethan's nodding along, all serious, like he's some worried kid. I want to scream it's a lie. I don't touch pills, barely drink, but I keep my mouth shut. They load me onto the stretcher, and Sarah climbs in, holding my hand like she's some saint. At the hospital, the doc says my knee's torn up, ligament shredded, gonna need surgery. They smell the whiskey and ask about it. "Must have spilled when I fell," I mumble, playing dumb. Sarah jumps in. "He's been off lately. You know, with the drinking." The doc raises an eyebrow but doesn't argue. They fix me up with a brace, give me some painkillers, and send me home to rest. Sarah drives us back, asking over and over if I remember the fall, fishing to see what I heard. I tell her it's all a blur, that I woke up in the ambulance. She relaxes, says, "That's normal with a bad fall, honey. Don't worry." "Yeah, real convenient for you, huh?" That night, I'm in bed, staring at the ceiling while Sarah snores beside me. My knee's killing me, but my head's worse, replaying their words, their plan to screw me over. I grab my phone, check our bank account real quiet like. Should be about 60 grand in savings from years of scraping by. It's down to 15 grand. Last withdrawal, 2 days ago, 30 grand. Gone. My hands shake as I scroll back, little chunks vanishing over months. How'd I miss this? Because I was too busy keeping the lights on, that's how. I don't sleep. I just lie there, piecing it together. They're planning to take everything, my money, my house, my life, and paint me as some washed-up junkie to do it. Sarah's probably got someone else lined up. Ethan's in on it for the cash. 16 years, a son I raised, all crumbling in front of me. But here's the thing they don't know about me. I'm a fixer. cars, problems, you name it. I figure it out. And now they've just handed me the biggest mess of my life to fix. They think I'm down for the count, but I'm not. Not even close. By morning, I've got a plan brewing, and they're about to find out Jack Wheeler doesn't go down that easy. So there I am, Thursday morning, propped up in bed with my knee in this clunky brace, feeling like a truck ran me over. Sarah's downstairs making coffee, acting like everything's normal, humming some tune like she didn't just try to bury me yesterday. My head's still spinning from what I heard. Her and Ethan scheming to drain me dry and toss me out like an old oil filter. But I've got a fire in me now, a slow burn that's keeping me sharp. They think I'm some broken down fool, but I've spent my whole life fixing busted engines. This is just a different kind of breakdown, and I'm already turning the wrenches in my mind. I tell Sarah I'm too sore to go to work, which ain't a lie. My knee's swollen up like a grapefruit, and the doc said to stay off it for a few days anyway. She's all smiles, says, "Oh, Jack, you just take it easy, okay? Whatever you need." Yeah, whatever gets me out of your hair, right? She heads off to her shift at the store, and Ethan's still asleep upstairs, lazy as ever. Perfect. I've got the house to myself, and I'm not wasting a second. Getting around's a pain with this bum leg, but I hobble to the kitchen, grab a crutch I dug out of the closet, and start snooping. First stop, Sarah's little desk in the corner of the living room. She's always messing with bills and stuff there, and I've never poked around before, figured it was her territory. Big mistake, trusting her like that. The top drawer's locked, but I find a tiny key stuck under a coffee mug on the shelf. Real genius hiding spot, Sarah. I pop it open, and my gut drops. There's a stack of bank statements, but not from our usual account, the one I check on my phone. These are from some credit union I've never heard of, going back 3 years. The balance on the latest one? 78 grand. 78 grand. We've been scraping by, arguing over every dime, and she's got this secret stash? I flip through, and it's clear. She's been skimming from our joint account. 500 here, 1,000 there, all moved over bit by bit. My overtime pay, my busted back weekends, all funneled into her little escape fund. I snap pictures with my phone, hands trembling so bad I have to steady them on the desk. Then I find a notebook tucked under the statements. It's got Ethan's future scribbled on the front in her handwriting. I open it, expecting college stuff. Trade school ain't cheap, and I've been proud to help him out. Nope. It's a list. My truck, worth about 10 grand. The house, maybe 150 if we sold it. My tools in the garage, another 5 grand easy. Next to each one, she's written stuff like sell quick, or he won't notice. There's even a note about my 401k, push him to cash it out early, say it's for emergencies. They're carving me up like a junkyard car, piece by piece. I sit there, crutch leaning against the chair, staring at this betrayal spelled out in black ink. My chest feels tight, like someone's sitting on it, but I keep going. I limp to our old desktop computer in the spare room. Sarah's too cheap to get a new one, and I never use it. She's got her email logged in, password saved, like she thinks I'm too dumb to check. I scroll through, and there it is, messages with some guy named Greg. Her coworker at the store, the assistant manager. They go back over a year, hundreds of them. Nothing dirty, not outright. But it's all Greg. You get me like Jack never does, and can't wait to get out of this mess. He's egging her on, saying stuff like, "You deserve better, Sarah. Leave him already." Then I see Ethan's name pop up in her inbox. She's been emailing him too, keeping him in the loop. One from a month ago says, "Wait till your dad pays your next semester's tuition, then we can move forward. Greg says he'll help us set up." Ethan replies, "Good. Sick of pretending with him. Let's make it fast." Pretending? My own kid, the one I taught to ride a bike, the one I cheered for at every dumb school play, he's been faking it? I feel sick, but I keep snapping photos, every email, every word. By noon, I'm back in the kitchen, surrounded by papers and my phone full of evidence. My leg's throbbing, but my head's clear. They're planning to ditch me after I fork over more cash for Ethan's school, make me look like some pill-popping loser so they can take everything and run. Sarah's got Greg waiting in the wings, and Ethan's just along for the ride, counting my dollars like they're already his. I could storm upstairs right now, wake Ethan up, and demand answers. I could call Sarah at work and tear into her, but I don't. I've fixed enough engines to know you don't yank the parts out till you've got a plan to put it back together or scrap it for good. So I call a buddy of mine, Mike, who's a locksmith but also knows a guy, a lawyer named Tom, who's supposed to be a real bulldog. Mike gives me Tom's number, says, "Jack, whatever's going on, this guy'll sort it. He's a beast in court." I call Tom, tell him I've got a mess with my wife and kid, money disappearing, and a setup to make me look bad. He doesn't flinch, just says, "Get me proof, Jack. We'll nail him. Meet me tomorrow." I hang up, feeling a little steadier. I've got a pro in my corner now. Next, I call the bank, our joint account bank, not Sarah's secret one. I tell them I'm worried about fraud, ask what I can do to protect myself. They say I can open a new account, move my direct deposit there, but I've got to be careful. Joint funds are tricky in a divorce. Divorce. The word hits me like a wrench to the face. 16 years, and it's come to this. I set up the new account anyway, move a couple grand over, just enough to keep me going without tipping Sarah off. By the time Sarah gets home, I'm back in bed, playing the pitiful injured guy. She pokes her head in, says, "How you holding up, hon?" I groan, Tell her the knee's killing me. I'm out of it. She nods, looks almost happy about it. Ethan comes down for dinner, barely says 2 words to me. I watch them eat, chatting like nothing's wrong, and I realize they've got no clue I'm onto them. They think I'm just a beat-up mechanic, too dumb to see the rust spreading under my own roof. But I've got my tools ready, and I'm about to start tightening the bolts on this whole damn mess. Tomorrow, I meet Tom. Tomorrow, the real work begins. Friday morning rolls around, and I'm up before the sun, and he's still aching like a bad tooth. Sarah's already gone to work, and Ethan's snoring upstairs like he's got no cares in the world. I'm sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of black coffee, staring at the pile of evidence I pulled yesterday, bank statements, emails, that damn notebook. It's all real, not some nightmare I can shake off. My wife and kid are plotting to gut me, and I've got to move fast before they figure out I'm not as clueless as they think. I hobble to my truck with my crutch, toss the folder of proof in the passenger seat, and drive to meet Tom, the lawyer Mike hooked me up with. The painkillers the doc gave me are in my pocket, but I don't take them. I need my head clear. Tom's office is this little brick building downtown, sandwiched between a barber shop and a diner. He's a stocky guy, maybe 50, with a handshake like a vice grip and a no-nonsense look in his eyes. I like him right off the bat. He's the kind of guy who'd scare the rust off a fender just by staring at it. I sit down, spread out the papers, and walk him through it. The fall, the whiskey stunt, the secret accounts, Greg, Ethan's backstabbing, all of it. I show him the photos on my phone too. Tom doesn't say much at first, just scribbles notes on a yellow legal pad, nodding now and then. When I'm done, he leans back, taps his pen on the desk, and says, "Jack, this is a hell of a mess, but it's a winnable mess. They're sloppy, left you a paper trail a mile long. We can bury him with this." He lays it out for me. First, we've got to lock down my money, whatever's left in the joint account, my paycheck, my 401k. He says I can't just drain everything, cause that'd look bad in court, but we can protect what's mine without raising red flags. Second, we need more evidence, hard proof of their lies, stuff they can't wiggle out of. Third, we play it smart, let Sarah and Ethan think I'm still in the dark while we build the case. Patience, Jack, he says. You're holding a royal flush here, but don't show your cards till the pot's full. I nod, tell him I'm in. He starts making calls right there, gets me an appointment with a financial guy to set up a trust, says he'll draft some papers to secure my assets. He also tells me to keep documenting everything, every word they say, every dime that moves. Get a recorder if you can, he says. Ohio's a one-party consent state. You're good to tape him as long as you're in the room. That's news I can use. I leave Tom's office feeling like I've got a lifeline. On the way home, I stop at an electronics store and pick up a little voice recorder, small enough to fit in my pocket, with a decent battery. I test it in the truck, muttering about my knee, and it picks up every word crystal clear. Good enough. Back at the house, I stash it in my nightstand, then limp around pretending I'm still a wreck. Sarah gets home around 3, finds me on the couch with an ice pack, and gives me that fake concern look again. You doing okay, Jack? She asks, all sweet. Yeah, just rough, I mumble. She pats my shoulder, says she's glad I'm resting. Sure you are, sweetheart. That night, I start setting traps. I leave my phone on the coffee table, logged into the joint account app, like I forgot it there. Sarah's always nosy, sure enough. I catch her later, peeking at it while I'm napping on the recliner. She doesn't know I've already moved my next paycheck to the new account. Let her think she's still got me on a leash. I also start dropping hints, tell her my knee's so bad I might need to dip into savings for surgery. Her eyes light up just a flicker, and she says, "Oh, we'll figure it out, don't worry." Figure it out, huh? Like siphoning more cash to your secret stash? Ethan's no better. He comes down for dinner, pizza I ordered, cause I can't cook, with my leg, and barely looks at me. I ask how school's going, and he shrugs, says, fine. Tuition's due soon, though. There it is, the bait. He's waiting for me to write that check, just like Sarah told him. I play along, say, yeah, I'll get it sorted next week. He nods, smirks a little. Kid thinks he's slick. I've already called the school, put a hold on the payment, Tom's idea. Let him sweat when it doesn't come through. After dinner, I rig up another move. Our garage is my domain tools, workbench, my old radio. I stick the recorder under the bench, hidden behind a can of WD-40, and leave the door cracked. Sarah and Ethan always go out there to smoke when they think I'm asleep. They're not supposed to, but I've let it slide. Not tonight. Around 10, I hear M slip outside. I hobble to the bedroom, act like I'm turning in, then wait. Half an hour later, I sneak back and grab the recorder. Jackpot. Sarah's voice comes through first, low and tense. He's falling apart, perfect timing. Once he pays Ethan's tuition, we can push the plan. Ethan says, Greg still in? Yeah, Sarah replies. He's ready to move me in once we're clear. Just gotta make Jack look bad enough, pills, fights, whatever sticks. Ethan laughs, my own son laughs, and says, he's so out of it, he'll never see it coming. They go on, talking about splitting my stuff, how Greg's got a buddy who'll buy my truck cheap. Every word's a punch, but I keep listening, saving it all. By midnight, I'm back in bed, Sarah asleep beside me like nothing's wrong. I've got the recording saved, photos of more bank transfers she made today, another $2,000 gone, and a plan with Tom taking shape. I'm still the busted-up mechanic to them, hobbling around, easy to kick aside. But I'm rebuilding this mess from the ground up. They're counting on me being weak, slow, done. They don't know I've got torque in me yet, enough to tighten the screws on their little scheme. Tomorrow, I meet the financial guy. Tomorrow, I start turning this heap of junk into something that runs my way. Saturday morning hits, and I'm up early again, and he's still barking at me, but my mind's sharper than a fresh spark plug. Sarah's at the store for her weekend shift, and Ethan's out with some buddies, probably blowing the cash I've been sweating for. I've got a meeting with the financial guy Tom hooked me up with, some suit named Larry who's supposed to help me lock down what's mine. I grab my crutch, the folder of evidence, and that little recorder, then limp out to the truck. Every move hurts, but I'm running on fumes and fury now. Larry's office is across town, a clean little place with too many plants and a desk stacked with papers. He's a wiry guy, glasses perched on his nose, and he dives right into the mess I hand him, bank statements, photos, the works. I tell him Sarah's been draining our accounts, hiding money, and planning to ditch me with nothing. He nods, flips through the pages, and says, Jack, we can't touch what she's already moved, not yet. But we can shield what's left. You've got a good shot at keeping your half when this hits court. Half ain't all, but it's better than zero. We set up a trust, fancy word for a safe where I can stash my paycheck and 401k so Sarah can't get her hands on it. Larry says it's legal as long as I don't hide it from the divorce filings, which Tom's already prepping. I move another $5,000 from the joint account into the trust, slow and quiet, leaving enough so Sarah doesn't smell a rat. Larry also tells me to change my direct deposit at work. Done by Monday, he says, and she'll never know till it's too late. I leave his office with a little weight off my chest, like I've finally got a wrench on this thing. Back home, I keep playing the part, groaning about my knee, letting Sarah fuss over me when she gets in. She's all poor Jack this and take it easy, that. But I see the gears turning behind her eyes. Ethan rolls in later, barely grunts at me, and heads upstairs. I wait till they're both settled, then sneak the recorder back into the garage. Sure enough, they're out there smoking again by nightfall. I snag the tape after they're done and listen in bed while Sarah's in the shower. This time, it's gold. Sarah's voice, sharp and low. Greg says we should file next week, before Jack's knee heals up. Make it look like he can't cope. Ethan chimes in. What about the truck? I could use the cash. We'll sell it after, Sarah says. Greg's guy'll take it cheap, split it with us. Then she drops the kicker. I moved another $10,000 yesterday, almost tapped out the joint account now. We're set. $10,000? I check my phone. Yep, balance is down to $4,000. She's stripping it bare. Sunday, I'm a ghost around the house, limping, quiet, letting them think I'm fading. But I'm busy. I call Tom, send him the new recording and bank screenshots. He's thrilled, says, Jack, this is fraud, plain and simple. We've got her dead to rights. He tells me to sit tight, keep gathering, and he'll have the divorce papers ready by Wednesday. I also rig up a cheap security camera in the garage, $20 at the hardware store. Hooks to my phone. I tell Sarah it's 4 critters getting into the trash. She buys it, doesn't blink. Monday, I'm back at work, just light stuff, sitting at the desk logging parts, cause my knee's still trash. I switch my direct deposit like Larry said, and my next check's safe. That night, the camera catches Sarah and Greg in the garage, him sneaking over after dark. They're cozy, laughing, sipping beers from my fridge. She says, once Jack's out, this place is ours. Greg grins, he's a sucker, won't know what hit him. I save the clip, send it to Tom. It's not just betrayal now, it's proof she's bringing this clown into my house. Tuesday, I up the ante. I accidentally leave a fake doctor's note on the kitchen counter, something I typed up saying I'm on heavy painkillers, might be unstable. Sarah finds it, and I catch her texting Ethan about it later, says it's perfect for their story. They're building a lie I'm feeding him, and they don't even know it. That night, the recorder gets more, Ethan saying, if he flips out, we can get a restraining order, lock him out. Sarah agrees. Yeah, Greg thinks that'd speed it up, clean break. By Wednesday, I've got a stack of ammo recordings, videos, bank records, their own words tying the noose. Tom calls, says the papers are ready, and he's filing tomorrow. He's going for fraud and emotional distress, aiming to keep the house. Turns out it's in my name from a loan I took out years ago, not joint like they thought. Sarah missed that detail, too busy counting my cash. I tell Tom I want to confront him soon, face to face, lay it all out. He says hold off till the filing's official, let the law hit first. I agree, but I'm itching to see their faces crack. That night, I'm in bed, Sarah breathing soft beside me, oblivious. My knee's a dull ache, but my head's racing. I've got the trust, the evidence, the lawyer, the plan. They think I'm a busted tire, ready to be swapped out. But I've been tuning this engine for days, and it's about to roar. Tomorrow, the papers drop. Tomorrow, they start learning what happens when you underestimate Jack Wheeler. Thursday morning feels like the calm before a storm. I'm up early, knees stiff but manageable, sipping coffee in the kitchen while Sarah gets ready for work. She's chirpy today, tossing me a feel better, Jack, over her shoulder as she grabs her keys and heads out. Ethan's still crashed upstairs, probably sleeping off whatever he did last night with my money. I don't say much, just grunt and nod, keeping up the act. They've got no idea what's about to hit him. Tom's filing the divorce papers today, and I'm one step closer to flipping this whole mess upside down. I call off work again, tell the shop my leg's acting up, which ain't far from the truth. Truth is, I need the day to finish prepping. Tom texts me at 9. Papers filed. Court's got him. Sarah will be served at the store this afternoon. My gut twists a little, picturing her face when some deputy hands her that envelope. Part of me wants to be there, see her squirm, but I've got my own moves to make. I grab my crutch, the recorder, and that folder, my war chest, and get to work. First, I check the garage camera footage from overnight. Bingo, Sarah and Greg were out there again, late, thinking I was passed out. She's pacing, saying, "We're filing Monday, Jack's a mess. It'll be easy." Greg's all smug, good. I'll talk to my guy about the truck tomorrow. Then she says something that makes my blood boil. Ethan's pushing for half the house cash, says he deserves it for putting up with Jack. Deserves it? For what? Breathing my air. I save the clip, send it to Tom. More fuel for the fire. Next, I dig deeper at home. Sarah's desk's been my gold mine, so I hit it again. This time, I find a letter from Greg's buddy, a handwritten note about buying my truck for $6,000, way under value, dated last week. Sloppy, leaving it lying around. I snap a photo, tuck it in the folder. Then I log into her email again, still wide open on the desktop. There's a new one from Ethan. "Mom, tell Greg to hurry up. I need cash for school next month." Her reply, "Working on it. Jack's check clears Friday, last big pull. They're counting on my next paycheck, the one I've already rerouted. Too bad, kids. By noon, I'm wired, coffee's got me jittery, and my knees throbbing from hobbling around. I call Tom, tell him about the new stuff. He's practically giddy, says, "Jack, this is a slam dunk. Fraud, conspiracy, the works. We're not just keeping your house, we're going after her stash too." He tells me Sarah's getting served any minute, and Ethan's next when he's back from wherever. I ask if I can confront him tonight, lay out what I know. Tom says, "Papers first, then yeah, hit him hard. Just don't lose your cool or record it. I promise I'll keep it together." Around 3, my phone buzzes. It's Sarah, voice shaking. "Jack, what the hell is this? Some guy just gave me divorce papers at work." I play dumb, say, "What? Divorce? I didn't do nothing." She's yelling now, "Don't lie to me, you're trying to screw me over." I mumble something about my knee hurting. Hang up. She's rattled, and I'm grinning. Ethan gets served an hour later. Tom's guy catches him at the gas station. He texts me, "Dad, WTF is this?" I don't reply. Let him stew. They both storm home by 5, Sarah first, face red and eyes wild. "Jack Wheeler, you explain this right now," she hollers, waving the papers. Ethan's behind her, glaring like I stole his lunch money. I'm on the couch, ice pack on my knee, recorder in my pocket already rolling. "Explain what?" I say, calm as can be. "This divorce crap," she snaps. "You're claiming I stole money? That I'm some cheat?" I shrug, say, "Didn't say that. Court'll figure it out." She's pacing, yelling about how I'm ungrateful, how she slaved for this family. Ethan jumps in, "Yeah, you're screwing us, Dad. I need school money." That's when I drop the hammer. "Funny you mention money," I say, pulling out the folder. I slap the bank statements on the coffee table, her secret accounts, $78,000 and counting. "Where'd this come from, Sarah?" "My paychecks." Her mouth opens, shuts, like a fish flopping on the dock. I keep going, toss out the truck note, the emails with Greg, the fake pill story they've been building. "I heard you too after I fell," I say, voice steady. "Staging me with whiskey, planning to take everything. I've got it all, recordings, videos, you name it." Ethan's face goes white. Sarah shaking her head, stammering, "You're crazy, Jack. That's not true." So I play the latest garage clip on my phone, her and Greg plotting, Ethan demanding house cash. The room goes dead quiet, just their voices echoing off the walls. Sarah tries tears next, collapses on a chair, sobbing, "I'm sorry, Jack. I got lost. We can fix this." Ethan's mute, staring at the floor. I stand up, crutch under my arm, and say, "Fix it? You've been robbing me blind, setting me up with your boyfriend. Ethan, you're in on it. My own kid. We're done." I tell him they've got a week to get out. House is mine, legally, and Tom's got the proof. Court'll sort the rest, I say. Take what you can carry. Sarah's crying turns to screaming, calls me a bastard, says I'll regret it. Ethan mutters, "You're the worst," and storms upstairs. I don't flinch. I grab my keys, limp to the truck, and drive to Mike's place for the night. They're unmasked now, scrambling, and I've got the upper hand. Tomorrow, Tom says the court will freeze her accounts. Tomorrow, I start rebuilding from this wreckage. I wake up Friday morning on Mike's lumpy couch, my knee stiff as a frozen piston and my head pounding from a night of tossing and turning. Mike's already up, frying eggs in his little kitchen, the smell mixing with the stale beer cans scattered around his bachelor pad. He's a good guy, didn't ask too many questions when I showed up last night, just handed me a blanket and said, "Crash here long as you need." But I fill him in over breakfast, Sarah, Ethan, the whole ugly mess. He whistles low, says, "Man, Jack, that's cold. You're tougher than I'd be." Maybe. Or maybe I'm just too mad to fall apart yet. I check my phone, text from Sarah, a dozen of them. "Jack, come home. We need to talk. You're ruining everything." "I'm sorry, okay?" Ethan's got one too. "You're a jerk. Dad. Fix this. Fix it? They're the ones who torched the damn bridge, and now they're mad I won't rebuild it for him. I don't reply. Tom calls at 8, voice chipper for a guy who's about to drop a legal bomb. Jack, court's freezing Sarah's accounts today. Got an emergency order with your evidence. She can't touch that 78 grand till we sort it out. You good? I tell him yeah. I'm at Mike's, and last night went down like we planned. Perfect, he says. Lay low. She'll be served the freeze notice by noon. I spend the morning at Mike's, sipping coffee and replaying the confrontation in my head. Sarah's tears, Ethan's glare, it's all burned in there. Part of me still can't believe it. 16 years with her, 20 raising him, and they turned on me like I'm nothing. But the proof's on my phone, in that folder, and it's keeping me steady. Around 11, I drive back to the house, crutch in tow, to grab some clothes and check the lay of the land. Sarah's car's gone, probably at work, freaking out over the divorce papers. Ethan's truck's in the driveway, though. I limp inside, and he's on the couch, playing some video game, acting like the world ain't shifted. He looks up, scowls, says, "What are you doing here?" "My house," I say, calm. "Getting my stuff." "You got a week," like I said. He pauses the game, stands up, all lanky and pissed. "You're really doing this? Kicking us out?" "I need tuition, Dad." I stare at him, this kid I used to carry on my shoulders, and say, "You've been helping your mom rob me blind." "Ethan, you want school? Get a job. Take a loan. Grow up." He clenches his fists, mutters, "You're such an asshole," and stomps upstairs. I let him go. Ain't worth the fight. I grab a duffel bag, pack some shirts, jeans, my work boots, and head out. On the way, Tom texts, "Freeze is done. Sarah's losing it. Called my office screaming. Stay clear." I swing by the bank instead, check my new account, paycheck's there. Safe. Joint account's down to 3 grand now, but it's locked too. She can't bleed me anymore. I feel a little lighter, like I've patched a leak in the gas tank. By afternoon, I'm back at Mike's, and he's got a buddy over, Dave, a cop who works downtown. I tell him the story over beers, and Dave says, "Jack, you've got enough for a criminal fraud case if you want. That money moving's no joke." I think about it. Jail for Sarah, maybe Ethan too. It's tempting, watching him pay hard, but I tell Dave I'll stick with the divorce for now. Civil's cleaner, I say. I just want him gone. He nods, says he'll keep an ear out if they try anything stupid. Evening hits, and Sarah calls again. I pick up this time, figuring I'll hear her out. She's crying, voice all shaky. "Jack, they froze my accounts, everything. How am I supposed to live? I'm sorry, I messed up, let's work it out." I cut her off, say, "You worked it out plenty, with Greg, with Ethan, with my money. You've got a week to pack. That's it." She switches gears, yells, "You can't do this. I'll fight you in court." I laugh, cold, and say, "Go ahead. I've got tapes, Sarah. Good luck." I hang up, and she doesn't call back. That night, Mike drags me to a bar, says I need to unwind. I'm not much for drinking, but I nurse a beer, listen to the jukebox, and let the noise drown out the ache. My phone buzzes, Ethan this time, a text. "Mom's a wreck. You happy now?" I type back, "You made your bed, kid. Lie in it." He doesn't reply. I sit there, staring at the bottle, and realize something. They're scrambling now, not me. I've got the house, half the money secured, and Tom's got the law on my side. They thought I'd roll over, but I'm the one still standing, busted knee and all. Before bed, I checked the garage camera, hooked it to my phone remotely. Sarah's home, pacing in there alone, smoking like a chimney. She's muttering to herself, something about Greg bailing, and what do I do now? Sounds like her boyfriend's getting cold feet with the heat on. I save the clip, send it to Tom. Another nail in her coffin. I crash at Mike's, dreaming of engines instead of betrayal for once. Tomorrow, I'll start moving back in. Tomorrow, I take the wheel for good. Saturday morning, I'm back at Mike's, sipping coffee while he flips pancakes like some diner cook. My knee's still a mess, but I'm feeling steadier, like an old truck that's finally tuned up after a long haul. Sarah and Ethan are on the ropes, and I'm ready to take back what's mine. I thank Mike for the couch, tell him I'm heading home today. He claps me on the shoulder, says, "You've got this, Jack." They messed with the wrong gearhead. Damn right they did. I drive to the house around noon, crutch under my arm, duffel bag slung over my shoulder. Sarah's car's gone again, probably licking her wounds somewhere. Ethan's truck's there, though, and I brace myself for round 2. Inside, the place feels different, quiet, tense, like it's holding its breath. Ethan's sprawled on the couch, same spot as yesterday, game controller in hand. He looks up, eyes hard, says, "You again?" "Yeah, me." I say, dropping the bag. "My house. You've got 6 days left. Start packing." He tosses the controller down, stands up, and gets in my face. Close enough I can smell the energy drink on his breath. "You're screwing us over, Dad. Mom's broke. I've got no school money. Where am I supposed to go?" I don't back down, even on one leg. "You should have thought about that before you helped her rob me." I say, "You're 20, Ethan. Figure it out, millions of kids do." He shoves a finger at my chest, says, "You're a selfish prick," and storms out, slamming the door so hard the windows rattle. I let him go. He'll cool off, or he won't his call. I settle in, start taking stock. The house is mine. Title's clear, Tom confirmed it, and I'm not letting him squat here past next Friday. I checked the garage camera footage. Sarah was back last night, crying on the phone to someone, saying Greg dumped her when the accounts got frozen. He won't even talk to me now, she sobs. Good. Let her taste the mess she made. I save it, send it to Tom, though he says we've got enough to bury her already. By afternoon, I'm fixing what I can, tighten that loose handrail on the porch steps with one hand and a screwdriver, swearing under my breath. It's slow, but it feels good, like I'm reclaiming the place. Tom calls, says the court set a hearing for next week. Sarah's fighting the fraud claim, but he's not worried. She's got no leg to stand on, Jack. We'll split the joint stuff fair, and that secret stash? We're pushing to get most of it back. I tell him I just want it over. House, my tools, enough cash to keep going. He says I'll have it, easy. Sunday, Sarah shows up. I'm in the garage, sorting my wrenches, when she pulls in. She looks rough, hair a mess, eyes red. She walks up, voice soft, says, Jack, can we talk? I lean on the workbench, say, go ahead. She starts with the apologies, says she got caught up with Greg, didn't mean to hurt me. Ethan pushed her into it. I was stupid, okay? Can't we just stop this, go back? I laugh. Not mean, just tired. Back to what, Sarah? You stealing my money? Plotting with my kid to ditch me? You're out of moves. She cries, begs, says she'll leave Greg, get help. I shake my head, say, you've got till Friday. That's it. She switches to anger, calls me heartless, says I'll be alone forever. Maybe. I say, but I'll be free. She leaves, peeling out like she's proving a point. I go back to my tools, feeling the weight lift a little more. Ethan doesn't show up all day, texts me later. I'm staying with a friend. You win. I don't reply. Winning don't feel like this, but surviving does. Monday, I'm back at work, light duty, but it's something. The guys at the shop know now, Mike spilled it. And they're all, damn, Jack, you're a badass about it. Feels good to laugh, even if it's rough. By week's end, Sarah's moved out, crashed with a cousin, Tom says. Ethan's gone too, left a note. I'll figure it out. Don't call. Idmity. It's Friday night, March 28th, 2025, 2 months since the fall, and I'm still here, standing in my garage, the house quiet but mine. The court hearing's Tuesday, and Tom's confident. Sarah gets half the joint cash, about 10 grand, but I keep the house, my truck, and 60 grand of her secret stash. She's broke, scrambling. Ethan's working at a warehouse, taking night classes. I miss him, won't lie, my boy, but he's gotta learn the hard way. I start fixing the place up, new paint, patched roof. I date a little Linda from the diner, nice gal, no rush. Therapy's helping, once a week, sorting the anger and the what-ifs. I'm not whole yet, but I'm running smooth again, like an engine I rebuilt myself. They thought I'd stall out, but I'm rolling strong, Jack Wheeler, still kicking, still fixing what's broke.